Getting drunk. You'll know the effects of alcohol if you've ever had a drink, or 5. Initially, alcohol makes you feel confident and happy, but after one too many margaritas, things start to go downhill. You might notice that you start to become unbalanced and clumsy, your speech starts slurring, and you forget things, leading to those embarrassing repetitive drunken stories. But why do these things happen? What's the science of getting drunk? To answer this, we need to look at what happens inside the brain. Initially, the alcohol activates the release of endorphins, which is a hormone that makes us feel good. Then, as the alcohol in our body increases, our brain signals become affected. We have 2 main types of neurons, excitatory and inhibitory, which work together to send signals to control the body. Excitatory neurons release glutamate neurotransmitters, which excite the brain and speed up signaling. Inhibitory neurons release GABA neurotransmitters, which inhibit the brain and slow down signaling. In a sober state, these are well balanced, so our brain sends our bodies just the right amount of instruction so that we can function normally. In a not so sober state, this balance is disrupted. Alcohol causes the inhibitory neurons to release more GABA neurotransmitters, which slows down the signals in our brain. On top of that, alcohol decreases the release of glutamate, so there's less excitation, slowing down the signals even more. That's why you might start slurring your speech, becoming clumsier and thinking less clearly, leading you to make decisions you may later regret. The end of the night, however, doesn't mean the end of the effects of alcohol. Unfortunately, too many of us know that feeling of waking up the next morning with a pounding headache, dry mouth, and the feeling you're about to be sick. The dreaded hangover. Although we know the effects of a hangover all too well, scientists actually know relatively little about the details of what causes them. But they do have a few theories. Firstly, the most well-known cause of the hangover, dehydration. Alcohol is a diuretic, which means it makes you pee more than it hydrates you, so overall you end up losing water. Secondly, alcohol irritates your stomach lining and increases stomach acid production, making you feel queasy. Additionally, as alcohol is broken down and digested in your liver, it produces a byproduct called acetaldehyde, which is thought to be toxic, and studies have shown that this toxic byproduct causes hangover-like effects. Apart from the physical effects of a hangover, there are also psychological effects. Have you ever woken up after a night out feeling extra anxious and blue? Well, you're not alone. It's actually so common that this feeling has been nicknamed hangxiety. Something that makes hangxiety worse is not being able to remember the embarrassing things you must have done whilst you were drunk. Well, there's a chemical change that causes hangxiety. As we described earlier, drinking alcohol increases production of GABA and decreases glutamate in your brain, slowing down and calming the brain. This decrease in glutamate is what causes us to forget things because we need glutamate to store memories. When we stop drinking, our brain naturally tries to rebalance these changes by reducing GABA and overproducing the excitatory glutamate. This causes a spike in signaling and excitation in the brain, making us feel anxious. Fortunately, this anxiety is short-lived and you should be back to your happy self in a day or two. So cheers for watching.